Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. We are wrapping up 2020 and we're going to be talking about the best of beauty from 2020. This highlights on some new releases that happened in 2020 that I got to try. Very exciting video, so let's get on into it. First off, if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Stacy and I love to feature makeup product reviews that range from like drugstore to high-end, but I'm mostly a drugstore queen and I am also a full-time mom, so I like to show you guys how to do some makeup hacks, tips, tricks, that type of thing that have to do with mom life. So like easy makeup for mom life. Anyway, so let's get on into the best of beauty 2020. Happy New Year! And I can't believe that 2020 is finally over. Like, it needed to end. It was the worst year ever. So bad. So guys, let's talk about the best of makeup in 2020. I have a list of 16 products here. Yes, 16 products. So let's go through and we are going to, these aren't in like any specific like order. They're just kind of like how I wrote them down, so it's not like a ranking video. It's just a how they came to my mind type of video. Let's talk about the best one first, because this one actually is like really good. So let's get the two big things on my desk out of the way first. We're gonna talk about Stone Cold Fox. This is the new cool toned Colourpop release. It is a 30 pan eyeshadow palette. It was like $34 on the Colourpop website and they actually sold out of this and they restocked it. So I believe you can buy it right now unless it's sold out again. And this is an all like cool tone palette. It's rich with like metallics and like those shimmery shades, and then it also has some really nice mattes in here, and it didn't really have any of those like, it had a couple of those like sequiny matte shades, but most of it is like a true matte formula or a true foil formula. Here's the color story for you guys right here, so you guys can kind of get a glimpse into it. You have kind of like a pink row here. You can actually like follow down the line and see how it goes. Or, I mean, you can just like, I just like dabble into everything. This palette got so much use this year, and some of my favorite eyeshadow looks came from this palette because it just like, it speaks to me. A couple of those sequiny shades, like one down here, I think there's like 3 in total, and like I said, the rest of them are that true matte formula. The foils in this are really nice, especially so you have like this color here, it's called Magnetic Moon, and this is a really metallic foily like silver shade. And then you have Mystery, which is over here. This is a really beautiful like pinky, almost champagne color, but they're all cool toned, which is like totally me. I'm totally a cool toned person. I got so much use out of this. This is like my favorite palette from 2020 and it's so good. So the next big item on my desk is a obviously new release. It is from the brand Juvia's Place. We have the Wahala 2 palette. This was obviously released in 2020, but it is an all colorful eyeshadow palette that Juvia's Place released. It is a $38 eyeshadow palette. It's a 30 pan eyeshadow palette. It comes with a true multi-chrome here in the corner called Fake, and it does a shift from like a pink to a green to a purple. Like, it's an absolutely stunning shade. I have loved playing with that multi-chrome and the rest of the actual like colorful shades in this palette. This palette is like, if you're looking for a colorful palette to play with, I think this one is very like beautifully laid out, where you get some pinks, some oranges, you get a lot of like blue and green tones. You also get some of these like silver and white tones over here. And then you also get that multi-chrome. I'm not gonna lie when I say that the multi-chrome is the reason why I bought this palette. Like, it is just so stunning, so smooth, so rich, very easy to like put on your eyelid, very easy to create eyeshadow looks with. Overall, the Juvia's Place formula is one of the best out there because it shows up on any skin tone. They are made for more women of color who are darker skin toned than me. Obviously, I can still wear their eyeshadows, but they are made for women who have either a darker skin tone or like an olive skin tone. So Juvia's Place makes products like that that are very rich and pigmented, and they look good on any kind of skin tone. And this palette does not disappoint in any way. Let's talk about a face product really quick, because This one is really, really good, and I'm so glad that I bought this for like in 2020, that I decided to try it out. Now, I did try the matte version of this specific face concealer, and the matte one's okay, but I found that I love the hydrating one a lot more. And if you guys have guessed it already, I'm talking about the Elf Hydrating Camo Concealer. So here is my little tube here. You guys might be able to see, I have actually used up like a lot of this concealer since I purchased it earlier this year. And literally I could probably pan on this within the next couple of months because I use this every single day. I love the formula that it has because it's not drying, it's very hydrating, and the color that I have is called Fair Rose, so it is more of a little bit of a pink undertone. So not only does it brighten under my eyes, but it also conceals really, really well. And you don't need a lot to conceal. Now today I did my makeup a little bit differently. I actually used the concealer, and so I put my primer on first, then I put this concealer on, and then I put my foundation over the top of it, kind of like a Scott Barnes type of technique, but not quite as like intense. So I ended up putting this concealer underneath my eyes, and then I also used it to brighten my nose and my chin, and then also my forehead where I've been having some problem blemishes, and then I put my foundation on top of that. And this concealer is good whether you do it that way, where you layer concealer and then foundation, or if you layer foundation and then concealer. It's so good. I think if anybody is looking for a hydrating full coverage formula, this is the route you should go. It is a $6 concealer. It is so good. And it is not like the e.l.f. matte camo concealer that they originally released. That one's a little bit more drying, and it can look cakey on the under eyes depending on how you apply it, and if your skin isn't like moisturized and prepped properly, it can look drying on your face. So this one is more like user friendly, but it also looks amazing on your skin. It kind of just like melts in like butter, and it's just like so good. So another e.l.f. product, and I have been a fan of the original formula of this for a long time, for like a year and a half now, and I decided to pick up this one. It is the Matte Poreless Putty Primer. I actually tried this earlier this year with, and there's already like a huge divot in it if you guys can see. So I tried this with the new e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and then I also tried it with the new Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation from their Photo Focus line, and this one has gotten so much use. Like, it is so good at prepping my skin, filling in the fine lines and the like wrinkles. If I don't want to look like overly dewy, I really liked to use this to like control the dew, especially in the T-zone area where I get kind of like oily. So like on my chin, sometimes I'll get oily, or on my nose, I tend to get oily. And then I have a problem with foundation like adhering to my face. This is definitely like one of those things that I use like all the time. It's like an $8 primer, and it is so good. Like, I made a dent in this because I've been using it so much, and I bought this not even 6 months ago. So, and the same goes for the regular Poreless Putty Primer. Like, those two were just, they are so good at prepping your skin, filling in the fine lines, filling in your wrinkles, filling in your pores, like blurring your skin, making it look smooth before you put on your foundation. And this one just makes you look matte instead of like dewy or like luminous. Very good primer. Ooh, we got another face product here coming up because, you know, that's what makeup is all about. And this was a new release, obviously. It is from Essence Cosmetics, and it is a nude highlighting palette that I actually have in my Shop My Stash right now. So I use this nude highlighting palette every single day right now, and you guys can tell I've kind of made a dent in it, but kind of not. It comes with a full-size mirror. It comes with 4 highlighter shades. I tend to stick to more of these 2 shades in here because they're a little bit more toward my skin tone, but I have used the bottom ones as well. And this is a $10 nude highlighting palette. I'm wearing it today. So it gives you like that lit from within glow, and it's not like over the top. I think you could build it up into an over the top highlight look if you really wanted it. Now, this is not as like creamy or as pigmented as like my Rach Loves Layers highlighting palette, but it does give me that very natural, everyday, dewy look, like lit from within look that I want when I'm doing my makeup for like everyday stuff. I love the highlight shades in it. Sometimes you can actually use the darker highlight shades as like a pop in the inner corner, or even just all over your lid if you're not really in the mood for doing like a full glam on makeup. And it doesn't texturize like any of the skin at all. It just leaves you looking fresh and glowy without like being too over the top fresh and glowy. Let's hop back on into eyeshadow real quick. So like it was earlier this year, it was actually kind of more toward the beginning of the summer. Elf, there's a lot of Elf on my list, like a lot of Elf. Wow, go Elf, like you guys did it this year. There was another release from Elf Cosmetics this year, and they released these 4-pan eyeshadow palettes. And if you guys haven't guessed, I'm talking about the Elf bite-size eyeshadow palettes. These are 2 of my favorites, but I do have quite a bit more of these. They retail for $3 a piece, and there's like 5 variations of the bite-size eyeshadows. And you could buy like really inexpensive, like these little bite-size ones, like spend $15, get 5 of them, and like you are set with 20 different shades of eyeshadow for like that's your eyeshadow collection. Like that could be your eyeshadow collection. I have the rose water one, and then I also have the cream and sugar one. So I did an actual like duped video comparing this to the Natasha Denona Mini Nudes, which is a 5-pan eyeshadow palette, very similar to this. What I love about these is that the mattes are very easy to blend out, and then the foil shades are like they are so good. You would think that they are a high-end like luxury foil, like foil formula, foil shade. Like they are better than some of the Colourpop foil shades that I have. And even the mattes are as good as Colourpop, if not better. They're like butter on your skin. They blend in so well. You don't really have to like work at it and work at it and work at it. They blend really nicely. They build up amazingly on your eyes. Like these 2 are the 2 that I use the most. One is more of a purple color story. Another one is more of a warm neutral color story. I love both of these, but they have a whole bunch of them, and they're so worth like the $3. Again, like I said, like if you bought 5 of these, $15, you would get 20 shades, and they are so worth it. And every single bite-sized eyeshadow palette of these, they come with different color stories, and they don't repeat the colors, which is something good to keep in mind. So if you're looking for some really inexpensive eyeshadow and you want to add, like if you want to add like a whole bunch of different colors to your collection and have like a base collection, the bite-sized eyeshadows are like the way to go. Kind of wish that they would put it in like, they would put all the color stories in like a large like 20-pan palette, sell them for $15, and then you could buy all of like the bite-sized shadows in a big palette like that. That would be really nice. Let's talk about some more eyeshadow. There's a lot of eyeshadow that I tried this year, not gonna lie. The one that stunned me the most with quality, with pigmentation, with blendability has to be hands down the Shein Beach Sunset palette. This is a $6 palette, and it performs like high-end. It is so good, so pigmented. The foil shades are like super creamy on your skin. It comes with a full-size mirror. This is more of like a red toned eyeshadow palette, which is completely fine with me because I love these types of eyeshadow palettes. And then it actually comes with a couple of like duochrome shades in here, like they are. So like this one does a pink to a yellow shift. This one does a purple to a pink shift. Like super pigmented, super easy to blend out. They go on so flawlessly, and this palette is $6. 9-pan palette for $6. Oh my gosh. So we aren't going to hold that up anymore because the shade just fell out, but at least it wasn't one of my favorites. The Shein eyeshadow palette, like I said, it's super easy to build up. It's super easy to put on your eyes. It doesn't fade. It doesn't like wash away after a while. Like it lasts a really long time, and it's a really good eyeshadow palette. Worth the $6, definitely. Actually, some of their other eyeshadow palettes that they have, I've been wanting to try. They have a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Honey, so stay tuned for that. Now, okay, so I have more eyeshadow. And it's not an eyeshadow palette. Actually, they're more like they're eyeshadow singles. Yes, they're eyeshadow singles. They are from Colourpop. They are the Raw Beauty Christie Super Shock Shadow collaboration, and it's from the whole like At For Sight collaboration that she did with Colourpop. And I have 2 of the Super Shock shades in my hands right here. And I actually covered these in the I have these in like the full review of the Colourpop Raw Beauty Christy collaboration, where I actually talk about how like after I use the entire collection, like what's good, what's not, what's worth spending money on, like what's the standout of the collection. And these right here are like the showstopper of the collection. You guys are probably like, they're just super shock shadows. Like what? These super shock shadows are amazing at transforming your eyeshadow into like a whole new dimension of beautiful. You can use the two shades that I have. One is Olympic, the other one is Mycellum. You can use these as an eyeshadow topper. You can use them as a one and done eyeshadow. You can use them as an inner corner. You can use them as a everything. They're so pretty. They transform any eyeshadow look into something more dimensional, 3D effect to your eyeshadow. So today, example, I just used it on the inner portion of my lid here to do kind of like a halo eye. I have used it in the past where you can put like, let's say you do a purple eyeshadow and then you can add Olympic on top of it, and it just makes it look wet and like fresh, and it makes it look dimensional, 3D, like it gives it that little bit of like extra pop. It looks amazing over any kind of matte formula or even over a shimmer formula, and it adds that transition to it. So these are more, one is kind of like, this one's like champagne, this one's more gold. So they are kind of a gold silvery like undertone, and they just add like absolute stunningness to any eyeshadow look that you could ever think of. All right, more Colourpop. More Colourpop. I love Colourpop. The next thing I want to talk about from Colourpop that was one of the best makeup releases of 2020. I guess I should talk about these maybe together but kind of separate. So let's talk about them kind of together but kind of separate. I'm not sure if this one was a release in 2020 or if it was late 2019, but it is the Pretty Fresh primer with hyaluronic acid in it. And then they had the Pretty Fresh foundation, which is a medium coverage foundation that they released in 2020. So I had to put these two together because the combination of these two is just good in and of itself. And then the fact that like this foundation, I gave it a 10-hour wear test and it lasted 10 hours. I mean, it looked like I had been wearing it for a while, but it wasn't one of those things where it was like patchy or cakey looking, or where it looked like I had worn off completely on spots on my face or like my entire face. Like I could have freshened up my face with like maybe a setting spray, you know, kind of patted it in with a beauty blender and been on my way. That's how good this foundation is. My color is light 33C, so it is a obviously light foundation with a cool undertone, and this is a perfect shade match for me. They have like 20 shades in this foundation, if not more. They go from a really light end to a really dark end, and the color range on this is gorgeous. The way that it like plumps your skin, hydrates your skin, it makes it look dewy and fresh. It's just, I'm all about that. I'm all about foundations that do that for my skin, and this one is just so good. So long wearing. It's actually more of a medium to full coverage foundation more than a light to medium. Like it definitely holds up to the medium coverage, and you can put like another layer on and it's full coverage. Like it covered up blemishes that I had on my face from, you know, wearing a mask, like, you know, blemishes down here. And it was so good. I think this is the standout foundation of 2020. Actually, I don't even think there were very many like foundation releases this year as compared to 2019. Like 2019 was on crack when it came to foundation releases, and there was like none this year. Actually, they focused more on like eyeshadow and eyeshadow palettes. Like that's what they focused on this year. I feel like eyeshadow was like the main event of 2020. Another Colourpop item I want to talk about that was amazing in 2020. This actually released like really early in 2020, right around Valentine's Day, and that is the Blush Crush eyeshadow palette. This is the 9pan one for $14, and they released this in 2020, right at the beginning, right before like everything shut down, right before, you know, the world ended. And this eyeshadow palette is like one of my favorite like go-to mauve but nude for eyeshadow looks. It comes with a whole bunch of matte shades, it comes with some foil shades, and it comes with a Super Shock shadow. The Super Shock shadow is called Pop a Bottle. Very like creamy, very soft, This is another one of those like super shock shadows that you could use as like an eyeshadow topper if you really wanted to. But overall, like the formula, it's Colourpop. It's a Colourpop formula. The mattes are smooth, the foils are very metallic, and the super shock shadow is just that additional like layer of, you know, glam. So let's talk about some blush products that were really amazing in 2020 that literally were released in 2020. And this is the SheGlam Beauty Blush Palette, although it's one blush. But I have two of these. This is one color. I have another one that's like a little bit more of a brighter pink that's more for like summer or spring. It's very like vibrant. This one is in the color Brick Red. It comes in this amazing, beautiful black packaging that's like very sleek. It's plastic, and then it comes with a mirror inside, a magnetic closure. Stacey, the packaging is really good. Like your packaging, spot on. But the formula is so good. It is like very smooth and very, very pigmented. You could actually go with this specific color, you can go very overboard very fast and very easily. Like I've actually done it before and it's like, oh, there's a lot of blush on my face. Like, okay. You see here, the formula is like very pigmented, very buttery. If you notice, even in this swatch, there is like no clinginess, no like texturization on my face. And I got dry hands right now. Like they're so dry. But like, look at how smooth that goes on my hand. When you use a brush and you just like blend it out ever so effortlessly, it's just, so I'll show you like, oh, so pretty. Look what it just did to my, that was one teeny tiny little tap. And look what it did to my face, guys. Okay, that's better. You can go overboard with this like so easily, but it is so good. I think last thing out of makeup releases from 2020 that we're going to talk about is mascara. This was a new release in 2020, and I had to mention it because it was actually a favorite of one of my beauty gurus, and I had to try it because that's just me. I gotta try it, gotta make sure it makes sense, make sure it's good. It's the L'Oreal Paris Air Volume Mega Mascara. This is a favorite of Rach Loves. On her channel, she just released her favorite drugstore product of 2020, and she actually named this in her video. She actually has talked about it before on her channel, but she is in love with this mascara. And I can say that I back her when it comes to it being like a really good mascara, because it's just like effortless when you put it on your lashes. It's a thicker formula, so you can put one coat on your lashes and be done. Or you can layer it up like, you know, I do. I like to layer my mascara. I like thick, full lashes, and it just creates this very like voluminous looking mascara. It's super black. It also like, I've noticed it gathers at the baseline of your lashes, so it gives you like more fluffy eyelashes, but also like very voluminous eyelashes. And it's just a great mascara. The only problem with this is that it's not cruelty free. More on the baseline of like cruelty free products are like mostly what I focus on, but every once in a while I will pick up something so I can tell you guys like, was she right? Is this a good mascara? And I can concur, I can agree, it is a very good mascara. Okay guys, so there you have it, the best of beauty 2020, the best of beauty releases in 2020. All of this product was new in 2020, and I had a chance to test it, love it, and let you guys know what was really good. Stay tuned for the worst of beauty in 2020, and I will see you guys in my next video. Just don't forget to subscribe so that we can talk about the worst of beauty 2020. Bye. Yes, they're eyeshadow singles. They are from Colourpop. They are the I almost said Pure Raw Beauty Christy. And I actually covered these in the like full review of the, I almost said Pure again.